Fast profit again trading the London session. Recently we've been seeing very fast and strong price action taking place early in the London session, giving us an opportunity to pull a good profit out of the markets. So let's get straight over to the charts and I'll show you exactly what I did today and how I did it. And please remember to hit subscribe. Hi again and welcome back. It's the 6th of April 2020. Time is 6:46. So I just sat down, started looking through the charts. Thought I'd have a looking on the London session today. And flicking through these charts, we're seeing some very early price action taking place. See that euro strength coming in there. Pound's not doing a great deal. Australian dollar strength as well, that's pushing up quite nicely. And US dollar, Canadian dollar, first trade that I took. So this last big candle on the US dollar, Canadian dollar, managed to get in on a trade on that. Got in this at 47. And this is what we call a Momo trade, momentum trade. Criteria was hit that I could actually get into this trade, punch in, and that's exactly what I did. Got in on a suck back there. And seeing it push through a little deeper here, looking for it to move down through to this 20 level, which is, let me just check and see where that comes in. That'll give me 25 pips for the moment because it's early, very early. It's before the London session's even started. So I'm initially going to set my take profit down there at 45 for 45 pips, which is around about that 0.0 level. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, couldn't get in on this one. This candle just wasn't big enough for me to be able to take this as a Momo trade. So just watching this and seeing what happens. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, managed to take this as price came through an entry point just a little while ago on that last candle, and got in this at 90 as price broke through one of our levels. So looking for price to push through that 0.0 up towards 20, where I've got my take profit at the moment, which would give me, what is that, around about 30, 28, 29, 30 pips, something like that. So that's where I'm at the moment. Two trades being held. It's 6:49, still very early, and seeing if these initial early price action moves continue through towards the London Open. Okay, I'll pause the video for now and I'll be back with you in a little while. Okay, just checking the charts again. What is it now? 3 minutes past 7, and you can see that this Canadian dollar strength is still in play and moving quite nicely. I'll keep checking this to see. 11 pips. Now, I can't do anything on that at the moment, but this US dollar, Canadian dollar is moving down quite nicely, and I'm just going to see what we've got on that. 15 pips. So what I'm going to do right now is lock in. I'm going to lock in a couple of pips on that, just in case it does pull back and move back up again with the strength we're seeing. This downside move at the moment. So locking that in. Break, we're just over break even it is, and see what that does. The other trade that I'm in, New Zealand dollar, US dollar, not doing a great deal at the moment, just sitting there above the entry point there, just a few pips above. So that's where we are at the moment. Still just those two trades, nothing else to take at the moment, flicking through these charts. So that's it. I'll pause the video again and I'll be back with you in a little while. Back soon. Hi again and back with you. It's 20 past 7, just going to take a look at these trades that I'm in. Still only holding the two trades, the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. And you can see that's starting to move up a little bit. With that last candle, we saw a nice bit of price action pushing it through that 0.0, but then it pulled back and settled back roughly where it was on that last candle. Now we're starting to see that price action moving up again. It could be, we saw a bit of a move on the Australian dollar, which I think was driving that. But just trying to see what's going on. I'm trying to get some kind of fix on what's happening with the price action and where the money's moving. You can see Euro's taking a bit of a dive again after that initial climb. Pound is still showing that strength. That Euro Pound, which I don't usually trade. It's just that been looking at that because for a while now the pound Japanese yen was a no-go. It was really, the spreads were ridiculous, the moves were really difficult to trade, so just started glancing at that for a little while, and I've just left it on there for now, and that's moving quite nicely. We've got that weakness of the euro and the strength of the pound driving that. Nothing to do on these other pairs at the moment, and the US dollar, Canadian dollar, seeing that Continuation of the strength of the Canadian dollar by the looks of it. Yes, sort of. Yeah, we might be seeing weakness in the US dollar coming into play as well. Looks like it, yeah. Okay, so that's moving down towards that 20 level. Looking for it to push back through that 20, continue on that downside move. It's already been quite a bit below that 20 level. So looking for it to break that again and continue down towards this 0-0, where my take profit is. And the New Zealand dollar, US dollar moving nicely now. Seeing that push up through that 0-0. Yet again, that's already broken that key level there. So looking for it to come back through, hold, and continue up towards that 20. So there you go. Still just 2 trades I'm holding right now. 23 minutes past 7, so it's still well early. And I'll pause the video again and I'll be back with you in a little while. So back with you again. The US dollar, Canadian dollar, seen this deep pullback here on this last candle, and it hit my price stop, giving me 10 pips. I was holding on to that, looking for it, because that price, and of course there's no guarantees here, but the 20 level, which was here, the reason I was hanging on to that and just leaving that 10 pips locked in is because 3 times we'd seen that 20 level get broken, and I was looking for that price to continue down towards the 0-0. Maybe a little bit, I don't know, maybe a little bit over the top, but there was no reason why it shouldn't, and that's why I was hanging on to that. But even so, I've come away with 10 pips on the US dollar, Canadian dollar. We've still got 15 minutes left before the London Open as well. So I'm just marking that in my journal right now. Take profit. And New Zealand dollar, US dollar, seen a bit of a deep pullback. 3 times it's been through that 0-0. And looking for it to push up. I've got nothing locked in on this at the moment because price is too close to my entry point. But again, I'm looking for that price to come through that 0-0 up towards that 20. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, I just missed out on that. I've just placed a pending order on that. You can see that price actually comes through that pending order. But I didn't place it until price had bounced off that level. So I'll leave that pending order there and look to see if I can get in that long. US dollar, Canadian dollar, nothing to do at the moment. Might consider a re-entry on this if price pulls back enough. But I need to see that pullback before I get back in. And no other trades to take right now. Just flicking through these charts and seeing that there's nothing for me to do right now. So that's where I am right now. 10 pips up and holding this New Zealand dollar, US dollar. A few pips in profit on that. And I'll pause the video again and I'll be back with you soon. Okay, so back with you for an update. The New Zealand dollar, US dollar pulled back on that last candle. Candle before last, was it? Hang on, let me just see where we are. On this last candle, and closed just inside the area where I needed to punch out. So lost 1 pip on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. The Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, managed to take this on a pullback on the last candle. Took this long at 13. Seeing it push through that 20 and continuing this upside move. US dollar, Canadian dollar. This pulled back initially, hit my price stop, knocking me out for the 10 pip price stop that I had in place. I took a re-entry on this, took another entry on this at 43, short again, looking for further downside movement, which is what we're seeing. This time I put my take profit down here at that 20. So that's where I am at the moment, just holding the US dollar, Canadian dollar and the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Up 9 pips at the moment, that 1 pip loss on New Zealand dollar, US dollar, and 10 pip profit on the US dollar, Canadian dollar. So that's where I am, and no other trades to take right now. And the time is 7 minutes past 8, so we're I'm just looking at that thinking I missed an entry, but I didn't. Okay, nothing to take on these other pairs, and that's moving down quite nicely now. Okay, I'll pause the video for now and I'll be back with you in a little while to give you an update. Back again, it's 10 minutes past 8 and I decided to take those 2 trades off. Good profit on both of them. So what I'll do, I'll flick over to the summary sheet and give you a breakdown of the numbers and show you what I managed to do this morning in a reasonably short amount of time. Back soon. So I thought that considering I only took 4 trades, I'd show you these charts with the markers on, indicating where I actually got in and where I got out. So New Zealand dollar, US dollar, you can see this entry point just here. That little blue marker is where I got in. That was at what was that, 90, and stayed with it for 4 or 5 candles, and then price just pulled back into an area where I had to punch out of it. So I actually lost 1 pip on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, entry point was just here as price pulled back into an entry point, and took this long, got in this at 13 and saw that price push up there, and it got to a point where, because of what you'll see in a minute on the US dollar, Canadian dollar, I just decided to take my profits and get out. Another fast session for me. So Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, you can see where I got in there, and as price pushed up here, I got in where that, got out where that yellow point, that yellow marker was. US dollar, Canadian dollar. Now the first trade I took on this was the trade that I took at 6.44. It was very, very early for me to take a trade, but I was looking across the board and seeing really good moves, good strong moves happening, and it was pretty much across the board. So looking at the continuation of this downside move, this candle here actually gave me enough of a move to be able to take what we call a Momo trade, a momentum trade. So watching price push down on this, watch for the pullback, and I got in there where that red marker, as you can see. Now this continued to move down, beautiful. I had my take profit down here. You see that little blue marker there. So I saw this price pushing down really nicely. There was nothing to indicate to me that this was going to ease off, and I stuck with it. Got to a point where the price moved down enough for me to lock in 10 pips, and that is where this yellow marker is. You'll see that there. And price pulled back on this candle and hit my price stop, knocking me out for plus 10 pips. But seeing this move was still in play, there was no reason for me to get a different read on this. It was still in a nice move to the downside, and almost immediately I saw another entry point there where that red marker is, and I took it short again. Now on this second trade I set my take profit down at the 20 level or thereabouts, and you can see that price came down. It was just starting to hit that 20, or it's getting very, very close to that 20 level, and looking at the profit that I already had, I decided to punch out of it at that point. Probably, well, it was just before it actually broke through that 20 level. So getting out of there and giving me another win. So 2 good wins on the US dollar, Canadian dollar. So let's just have a quick look at those results all put together on the summary sheet. So here's the summary. New Zealand dollar, US dollar minus 1 pip, where it closed back into an area where I had to punch out. That's what our criteria says. US dollar, Canadian dollar, first trade gave me 10 pips as price pulled back on that price stop. Second trade on the US dollar, Canadian dollar gave me 20 pips, and Canadian dollar, Japanese yen 16 pips, giving me a net total of 45 pips today, and that's 1.68% profit on my capital. And that was all within around about an hour. So again, another fast session. Absolutely fantastic. I really do enjoy these sessions where you can get in and get out quickly with a reasonable profit. That's what I enjoy most. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. Please remember to hit subscribe, and if you hit the bell you'll get notification as and when I post new videos. And if you'd like to find out more about the way that we trade at the Price Action Traders Institute, all the details are down in the description box. You'll find links there where you can find out more. Thanks very much, and I'll see you again soon.